Okay, so I was just going to ask, what has been your experience on kind of a low carb diet?
Well, I started this plan because I was sick, really sick. My blood sugar was running about 380, and I have a immune disorder called calcium pyrophosphate deposition disease, which causes crystals in my joints. And I was having a lot of pain, and I was just sick. I got to the point where my husband and I were discussing how I was going to be able to quit my job and stay home because I felt like I was too sick to continue working.
Wow.
And my diabetes doctor had told me that the next step for me would be insulin. And I didn't want to do that. And I was really, at that point, kind of desperate about my health. So I went to Dr. Anderson and said, "Can you help?" And he said yes, and started me on the plan. And within a week, my blood sugar had dropped from about 380 to about 107,
Wow.
which was a dramatic improvement. I had been having a lot of symptoms like nausea and vomiting and things, headaches from the high sugar, and that left very quickly. The thing that really surprised me was that about 2 weeks in, I started noticing that I wasn't taking as much pain medicine and that I was starting to feel better. I was having a lot less headaches, a lot less joint pain. And then about 3 weeks in, I started to notice that my mood was lifting, that I just had more hope about the world and about my situation. And I began to feel that I would not have to quit my job, that I could continue to work. And as time progressed, I went from taking 3 pain pills a day to taking maybe 3 a week, which was a dramatic improvement for me. Until now, when I'm taking maybe 3 or 4 a month. And so just over time, my blood sugar has continued to level out, and my joint disease has seemed to bother me less. I feel better. In fact, my hairdresser even said that my hair was coming in thicker, so I was glad about that.
That's great.
But mostly I just feel better. I feel like I'm going to be able to work and live my life, and I'm looking forward to 60, a lot more than I was looking forward to 50.
Now, you had gone to see your diabetes doctor, and your sugar had been out of control, high. And so he had written you a prescription for a 4th medication. Is that right?
That's right. We had been trying for several months to juggle my medications and find a better way for me that would bring my sugar down. And it was at the point that he had written that prescription and then talked to me about the fact that I was going to have to go on insulin if this didn't work, that I decided that I was ready to try something else. And desperate enough to do whatever I was told. And so I said, yeah, I'll give this a shot. I don't have anything to lose. But I was really taken aback when things changed so quickly. If somebody had told me that my blood sugar would go from 380 to 107 in a week, I would have said, you are crazy. That will not happen. But it did.
And when you went back to see him for the next visit, what did, you had told me before that he said something about the new medicine, if it was working?
Yes. I went in and my A1C had gone from 9.9 to 7.4.
Wow.
And he said, wow, I guess that new medicine's really working. And I said, wow, it's really not, because I didn't take it. And he said, well, what is going on with you? Why has this changed? And I told him I was doing a very low-carb diet. And he said, whatever you are doing, keep doing that, because this is working.
Yeah.
And so he was really happy with my progress. And I was really happy that I didn't have to pay for another medicine.
And then there's a story you told me before about you were doing really well and then you went to a celebration meal. Can you tell me that?
Yeah, I was doing really great, feeling great, and my husband and I decided we were going to go out and celebrate an occasion, and so we went to our favorite steakhouse here in town, and I decided we hardly ever get to come here. It's really special, and I want to really really enjoy myself, and so I'm just going to eat whatever I want, and then I'll go back tomorrow and go back on my plan. So I had a huge steak, and I had several slices of bread and creamed corn and a little fried cheese roll thing that was wrapped in flour and then fried, and a glass of wine. And by the time I was in the middle of the meal, I noticed that I had a slight headache and that my shoulder was hurting. I didn't think too much about it. I just kept eating and going on. And by the end of the meal, I was ill. I was so sick that I told my husband, we're going to have to go home instead of going to the movies and out as we had planned. I am sick. Mm-hmm. And as we were driving home, I realized that I had just paid $100 to have somebody poison me.
And that's how fast the carbohydrates can have an effect on the way you feel.
For me, it is.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that for me, it's almost like an allergy. It's almost that kind of quick reaction. Anytime that I cheat and intake a lot of carbs, I have that same type of reaction. Yeah. You know, I'll start to have joint pain and start to feel nauseous and have a headache, and I'll go home and check my blood sugar, and sure enough, it's 300 again. And so I've just learned over time that it doesn't work for me to cheat. It makes me feel bad. So that piece of cake or whatever is a lot less enticing when you know it's going to make you sick.
Right.
So
and when you're walking around sick all the time, you don't recognize that. When you feel well, you notice when you're sick.
Yes, yeah. Because I had been sick for a long time, and I knew I was sick. I knew it was getting worse, but I didn't really understand how the food was affecting me. Mm-hmm. I wasn't putting two and two together. It was only when I started feeling better and then I ate badly that I realized this food is making me sick. This is a big part of my problem.
So what do you kind of eat now in general? How would you describe your
I eat bacon
diet?
For breakfast every morning. I need the salt and love bacon, my favorite food. So I have bacon for breakfast every morning. Sometimes I'll add an egg or avocado or something like that. Lunch is mostly salads with some kind of protein or a smoothie. I'll do that a lot at lunch. Yeah. And then for supper, I either have chicken or fish or steak and green vegetables. I love asparagus, so I eat a lot of that. I eat a lot of cheese for snack, a little quarter-size cube of cheese for a snack at night sometimes. Just lots of healthy food. I don't eat wheat. I don't eat sugar. Probably the hardest thing for me is popcorn, because I love to go to the movies and have popcorn. And so that's probably the hardest thing for me. And occasionally I'll have a little popcorn, but I know that if I eat over a certain amount, I'm going to feel bad. So I'm really careful about that. But, I found that I can eat out almost anywhere if I'm careful with my choice. If we go have Mexican food, for instance, I'll have the chicken fajitas or the beef fajitas wrapped in a lettuce leaf, and that's great. Steakhouses are easy. They're not a problem. Chinese food or Thai food, which I love Thai food, I'll go ahead and have the entree, but I just don't eat the rice.
Right.
I'll order it without rice, and so I might have chicken and asparagus at the Thai place. So I've just kind of learned that you can make this work for you. It's a process, takes a while. I was kind of surprised in the beginning because a lot of things that I was buying that I thought were healthy were in fact really bad for me. Anything marked low fat at the grocery store is going to be high carb. And that kind of took me by surprise. So it took me a while to figure it out, but I feel like I've got a really good handle on it now.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.